In my recent Quagmire timeline, we ran through this bachelor's entire life, but only touched the tip of the iceberg when it came to the dark depths of his debauchery.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Glenn Quagmire is a deviant whose depravity knows no bounds. So in this video, I've decided to lay it all out, counting down his sleaziest moments throughout the show of Family Guy.
Aren't I just the worst?
Hi, I'm Lydia from Screen Portal, and this is 10 of the worst things Quagmire has ever done. Just to warn ya, this list is pretty sordid, and it is oh so wrong. It would 100% land him in some time in the slammer. And I'm not condoning these crimes and actions at all, simply counting down the acts of a cartoon character. But I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets demonetized too. So please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. It really helps me out and it may just stop YouTube from hiding these videos from you. Number 10, sleeping with his best friend's wives. To say that Quagmire gets around would be a wild understatement. This hound dog is always ready and willing to hump anyone and anything that gets in his way. But unlike any dog I know, he's no man's best friend because he'll sleep with your wife. Quagmire has no respect for the sanctity of matrimony, as evidenced when he slept with Cleveland's wife Loretta.
What was that? Shut up and put some more of that sugar in my bowl.
And Joe's too. When the whole town thought the world was going to end, Quagmire disclosed to Joe that he was a virgin and that his one last wish was to sleep with Bonnie. And so Joe agreed. But this all turned out to be an elaborate ruse.
Screw you!
If that wasn't awful enough, he almost slept with Peter's wife too. The difference being that Quagmire has had a major crush on Lois for many years. An obsession that goes so deep, he actually roots through garbage to collect her stinky toenail clippings.
What's wrong with you?
So it's no surprise that when Peter and Lois briefly broke up, Quagmire immediately rushed over.
Hey Lois, you wanna go out?
His past tricks that may have worked before didn't work with Lois, like the old jacket arm in the pan trick. However, he did manage to get her into bed, and even though they didn't go through with it, you know Quagmire wouldn't hesitate if he got another shot. All in all, Quagmire is a crappy friend. Number 9, shot Peter in the head. If you thought sleeping with his best friend's wives was bad enough, then it only gets worse. In Brian's a Bad Father, Peter, Joe and Quagmire go hunting, and while lunching, Quagmire questions Peter on whether he has his safety on, and just to prove he knows the difference, Peter shoots Quagmire in the arm. Quagmire, quite rightly, is pretty pissed, and the two fall out over it. But Peter tries to set things straight by allowing Quagmire to shoot him in the arm too. But as he always does, he takes it that bit too far, shooting Peter point blank right in the noggin. And while this didn't kill Peter, it still gave him severe brain damage.
Have I told you that we're all friends again?
Number 8, being a terrible father. As an airline pilot and former Navy man, Quagmire has travelled around the world, spreading his seed far and wide. As such, his family tree is like looking at the cast list for It's a Small World, having a child in every single continent.
Me voy a ver los toros, giggity, giggity, giggity.
So much so that when Quagmire realizes that the local elementary school is crawling with his offspring, he runs away.
Daddy?
Oh God!
This guy has so many illegitimate kids that he even has an emergency DNA kit right next to his bed, which came in very handy when he almost accidentally slept with one.
Oh, giggity.
In Quagmire's Baby, his estranged baby daughter is left on his doorstep. And he does start to care for the child, but being a baby daddy starts to interfere with his bachelor lifestyle, so he gives her up for adoption so she could have a better life. But before any warm, fuzzy feelings flutter through our bones, he then comments that he will bump into her in 18 years.
What?
Did you really think I was gonna change that much? Get out, everybody!
Number 7. Voyeurism. Quagmire's favourite pastime is spying on women in the bathroom.
Would you just sit down and go to the bathroom already?
It occupies so much of his time, it pretty much becomes a full-time job, to the point where he actually has a base of operations in the girls' high school bathroom.
Mr. Quagmire, the girls' gym class will be in the showers in 20 minutes.
Thank you, Shirley.
He even hired a camera crew to hide in Meg's closet when she invited her lesbian friend over, hoping to record some saucy action and sell it then online. Number 6. No! Please, not the animals. It seems that even the zoo has to have protection against Quagmire and his sordid dealings, hiring security to keep him from hopping into the cages at night.
Man, they got some sexy monkeys down there.
In addition to the monkeys, he also has a thing for giraffes too. When Peter helps shut down Quahog's government in T. Peter, anything goes, including interspecies marriage. And so what does Quagmire do with this new-found legal freedom? Well, he goes and marries a giraffe. And a few months later, their hybrid baby is born.
Giraffity! Yeah, see, that's not mine.
Number 5. Trafficking women. To say that Quagmire is a womanizing sleazebag wouldn't even brush the surface. He is awful, and I don't know how he even sleeps at night. Well, it seems that I do actually. He uses a white noise machine that plays the violent screams of terrified women.
Somebody help me!
He's also admitted to keeping a starving woman tied up in his basement, and his bed actually has functions that hold you against your will with mechanical arms.
What's wrong with you? Hold her down or 5,000? That's just for women.
This guy is disgusting. In Airport 07, it was revealed that Quagmire was trafficking Asian women and hiding them in his car and then his house. When they escape, he admits that he tags them so he could go and find them later. Number 4. Sleeping with his own parents. In season 4's Brian the Bachelor, Quagmire is one of the contestants on a dating reality show, The Bachelorette, and despite roofing Brooke and getting caught dragging her unconscious body away, he somehow makes it to the final. As part of the show, the contestants take Brooke to meet their family. So Quagmire takes her to see his mother's caravan, where he arranged a romantic threesome between the 3 of them.
Mom, you want this three-way to happen, you're gonna have to change your tone.
Disgusting. Oh, and it gets worse. He slept with his dad. In Quagmire's Quagmire, the playboy finally finds someone who is more perverted than him, and they get up to some pretty depraved acts. The worst being when Sonia asked him to sleep with his dad Ida, his trans father, and he only goes and does it.
Did you enjoy your stay at the Marriott?
No, I did not.
Number 3. Sleeping with the dead. Yeah, I'm really gonna get demonetized, aren't I? Yes, Quagmire isn't gonna let a little thing like a pulse stop him from having a very good time. In the episode I Take Thee, Quagmire falls in love with Peter's maid Joan, and the two get married, and it looked as though Quagmire was a changed man. But he quickly realised his mistake and faked his own death.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Heart attack.
When death came a-knocking, Joan sacrificed herself, but before the Grim Reaper could take away her body, Quagmire had one last request.
Can you leave that body here for another 5 minutes?
In another episode, when Cleveland's wife dies, Quagmire delivers her casket to him in Virginia. When Cleveland looks inside and asks why she's dressed in a maid's outfit, Quagmire only replies,
Because I want to nail a dead French maid. Giggity, giggity.
Number 2, he is just the worst. I couldn't possibly squeeze all of Quagmire's heinous acts into one top 10. So I'll run through some of his absolute sleaziest moments right here, crammed into a double whammy. So for number 2A of this two-parter, he tried to get it on with Peter's daughter Meg. As soon as the girl turned 18, he invited the impressionable, naive young woman to his isolated cabin in an attempt to seduce her. But thank the Lord, Peter and Lois burst in at the very last minute to stop this disgusting act. Which is so gross. Not only is it because, well, it's Meg, but it's his best friend's daughter, and he actually watched her grow up because he knew the Griffins from before she was born. The second part to this horrible two-parter is that in another awful moment is when he stumbles upon an underage cheerleader tied up and helpless. And Quagmire was only all too eager to take full advantage of this situation. Number 1, murdering the Simpsons. Now, if you're new here, you probably wouldn't know, but I'm a pretty big fan of The Simpsons, owning an entire channel dedicated to the show and my favourite family of 5. So it should come as no surprise that I would rank this at the very top. In a deleted scene from the episode Moving Out Brian's song, a promo appears in the corner featuring The Simpsons. While Marge waves at the audience, a lecherous Quagmire approaches our blue-haired queen and forces himself on her off-screen. They then return to the screen and Marge admits she liked whatever happened and invites him back to her house in Springfield. But when they do, Homer catches them in the act and Quagmire shoots not only Homer, but also Bart, Lisa, and little Maggie too. Apparently, Seth MacFarlane wrote this segment in retaliation for a joke The Simpsons did where Peter Griffin was on a wanted poster for plagiarism. And Seth was pretty pissed that Fox removed it from the initial broadcast. But it was later added in for the Adult Swim reruns.
You shot my homie!
I think that writing this dark segment was such an extreme response to a pretty innocent jibe. And there we have it, folks. That is just some of the most highly deplorable things Quagmire has ever done. Now, did I miss anything off the list? Let me know in the comments below. I know he's done some pretty sick things, so I'm expecting some pretty sick answers.